Oh, hi. I'm a smart investor. I dare say that because I understand the cryptocurrency markets and I am up to date on every new development, fintech and blockchain ecosystem. All because I watch the Inside Blockchain show on Crypto TV Plus. Every Monday morning, Crypto TV Plus brings you news headlines of top stories, interview with an expert, and give you detailed market analysis to enable you make the right business moves. Now you too can become a smart investor if you don't miss it. The Inside Blockchain Show, only on Crypto TV Plus.
This program is brought to you by OKEX, the most trusted digital asset exchange.
Hello, my name is Chiki and I'm the bull of the bullet.
Keep watching Crypto TV Plus.
Don't touch that die. Peace.
Hello and welcome to the program. This is Inside Blockchain, live from Crypto TV Plus. I am Bobby ADK. It's a beautiful Monday morning, the 3rd of January 2022. And let me use this opportunity to say Happy New Year to you all, to our fans, to our community, to our partners. We're so happy to join this new year of 2022 with you. We know that we couldn't have done it all without your support in 2021. So we're so grateful and we look forward to doing great and remarkable things in this new year. So if you're watching from Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, and this is your first time on the program, kindly follow, subscribe, like, and share the video. Thank you so much. So before I kick off, I'd like to introduce someone who will be joining me on this special edition of the Inside Blockchain. He's no other person but the head of partnerships and marketing at Kurobi.io. His name is Sulaiman Muhammad Sulaiman. You're welcome to the program, Sulaiman.
Thank you very much, Bobby. It's actually a pleasure to be here, and I would like to actually wish everybody a happy New Year. It was an amazing ride in 2021, and we're finally here. So
yes, definitely. It was indeed an amazing ride, but you can't you can't compare it to the previous year, 2020. Some people felt that 2021 was more of a relief year from the previous year. So yeah, it was a hell of a ride, if we can put it that way. So first of all, Sulaiman, how are you?
Well, I'm good. It's a new year, and we are hoping to kick things off on a good momentum. Our launch is imminent.
Oh, that's fascinating.
The launch for Kurobi is imminent, so we are all pumped for that and stoked. So
yeah, speaking of which, I'd like you to talk to us briefly about that. You are the head of partnerships and marketing at Kurobi.io. So just briefly talk to us about what Kurobi stands for, the solutions you're providing, and it's a new year. So what should people actually look forward to, with Kurobi? Talk to us about that.
Kurobi is a one-stop shop for experts. Celebrities, influencers to actually share ultra-personalized experiences with their audiences powered by the blockchain. And it's built on the Solana blockchain. So Kurobi is able to actually allow for creators to actually have one-to-one experiences and learn more to what that particular expert does. So talking about an expert like a medical doctor, you are able to consult with your patients through that one-to-one experience provided by Kurobi. And looking at the African setting, PayPal and Stripe are not platforms or means of payment that are readily available and accessible in Africa. So Kurobi is trying to bridge that gap, and of course, the blockchain is helping us do that and pretty much making it seamless to actually make and receive payments on the platform. A whole lot of other features are available on Kurobi, but we started with the one-to-one to allow for better experience and engagement with within Africa and Asia, to be precise.
Yeah, sorry to cut in, Suleiman. I mean, this out of pure curiosity, what actually inspired that name Kurobi? Because I'm getting sort of an Asian vibe or an Asian origin. Like, what inspired the name Kurobi? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, Kurobi is a Japanese word that means expert, or black.
Yeah, I thought as much.
Yes, yes. So if we look at it, one of our co-founders is a Japanese indigene. So it has allowed for us to actually come up with this name easily, because looking at 2020, like you mentioned, has been a roller coaster for everybody. The pandemic,
Exactly.
Quite strongly, and a lot of businesses and activities shut down. And experts were actually taken aback by by the pandemic. So, trying to see how we can help experts and creatives to actually live within the new normal. The term Kurobi was one that was easily put up by the co-founders. We were having some discussions to start up this project and eventually a platform now.
Yeah. So what does it stand for? What does it actually mean?
Kurobi it means technically expert.
Kurobi, technically experts.
Yes.
Can you break it down like word for word or syllable, for syllable?
It's Kurobi, meaning expert in Japanese. The simple term expert.
Oh, that's fascinating. Wow. So, like, what's the future? What's the future looking like for Kurobi? It's a new year. What should people expect?
A lot should be expected. When we started, the icebreaker for us was the Solana Season Hackathon, where we didn't really participate, but we won the Keen Prize Award, the Africa Regional Prize Award, and it has been a very exciting ride for us. Just right after that, sometime in September, we launched the native token, the Kuro token. Within our platform, the idea was conducted within our own platform, and we are able to bootstrap the whole project, and we've been building since then. And of course, launch is on the horizon for us.
Okay, great stuff.
We have the beta platform ready since September. You can actually have access to it on Android, on iOS, and of course on the web version.
Okay, that's great. Fantastic. So, Sulaiman, you will have to stick around. We'll take a breather, and when we return, we'll jump right into the topic for the day. Don't go nowhere.
Happy New Year to you all. Happy New Year to our sponsors and community.
We look forward to a great year of
2022.
Hello, my name is Chiki and I'm the boy of the bullet.
Keep watching Crypto TV Plus.
Don't touch that dial. Peace. This program is brought to you by OKEX, the most trusted digital asset exchange.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is Inside Blockchain live from Crypto TV Plus, and this is the first edition of the Inside Blockchain in the year 2022. I'm so excited, and I'm happy that you, the viewers out there, are still with us. We appreciate you so much for being with us the previous year, and we look forward to doing great and wonderful things with you all. So like I mentioned earlier, I have here with me a friend, a brother, and a colleague. He is the head of partnerships and marketing at Kurobi.io. He is Sulaiman Muhammad Sulaiman. So before we went on a short break, he was actually explaining, giving us a brief explanation on what Kurobi.io stands for, and it was quite fascinating. So if you missed that, we actually have timestamps in the video, so you can just go back to the previous session and just watch that. So Sulaiman, let's talk about some of the things that happened in the previous year, 2021. Now, there were a lot of things, a lot of remarkable and significant events that happened that actually made last year a fulfilling one for some people and quite challenging for another section of people. So first of all, I'd like to talk about an African woman leading the World Trade Organization. I don't know if you heard about that. You must have heard about that, Sulaiman.
Of course, the ascension or the coming of Madam Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala to the
Exactly.
heralded a new era, not only for Africa, or particularly for women in the corporate world. And this has demonstrated what Africans can actually do and the barriers we can actually break, regardless of age, gender, or whatnot. She came in sometime, I think, in March to start her own.
If I can just come in there, so just to put it out there for people who don't know. So Ngozi Okonjo Iweala actually made history in the month of March 2021 by becoming the first African and the first woman to serve as the Director General of the World Trade Organization. Now, Mrs. Ngozi Okonjo Iweala was also the first woman to serve as a finance minister in Nigeria. Now, this is a position she held twice. So it is very obvious that this woman in her prime, if we can put it that way, is a woman in her prime who has not stopped at achieving milestones and breaking records. You know, it just goes to show that not regardless of the gender, regardless of whatever stereotype it is, the sky is actually big enough for anybody to soar, explore, break boundaries, and, you know, do a lot of remarkable things. So what do you think about that, Sulaiman?
The record of Madam Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is one that it's out there, and we can't even lay emphasis on what she has done. Looking at her tenure as the finance minister, you find out that she was she spearheaded the cancellation of a lot of the Paris Club debt. She spearheaded a lot of reforms in terms of finances, in terms of the economy in Nigeria. I think she was the chairman, the steering economic committee for the country, and she has done remarkably well. And I think those shoes are yet to be filled. So for us as Nigerians, seeing Madam Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala getting into that position it doesn't surprise us or even anything. It's a career well served, and she is an Amazon we are most proud of.
Exactly. But you know, Sulaiman, when you actually take a look at, you know, comparatively, when you take a look at the blockchain and tech space in Nigeria currently, you get to see that there's actually a wide margin between men and women who are actually thriving in this space. Now, specifically, when you look at the DeFi sector in Nigeria, now, you don't get to see so many women who are actually blazing the trail in this sector. So what do you think could be responsible for this, in your own opinion?
No, I think if you say there are no women or a lot of women actually trailblazing in this particular industry, I think it's not a proper representation of what is happening. We have a lot of women looking at Bit Mama, Jacqueline, and a lot of other people.
Yeah, but that's why I said comparatively, when you look at the ratio men to women, you get to see that there are a lot of men thriving in the space than women. I'm not trying to say that women are not thriving in the space. They are, but you get to see more of men. So we're trying to find out what could be the causative factor for that.
No, I think generally in the world there is that disparity between both genders, and it's a man's world. I'm sorry to say that, but I think it's even in politics and other industries and whatnot. we found out that men are actually the driving forces and are dominating in this field. So I think it's no different in terms of the cryptocurrency and blockchain. And I want to tell you that we have amazing women in crypto doing a lot of great things right here in Nigeria and even beyond this country. So I think it's the ratio is, of course, what you are trying to paint, but I think there's tremendous progress being made in this regard.
Fantastic stuff. So a purely digital artwork sells at auction for millions. That's the second thing on our agenda. We want to look at the topic NFTs. Now, every days, the first 5,000 days, that's the title of this art. Now, this art was actually designed by the artist Mike Winkleman, who is also known as Beeple. Now, it was auctioned for a whooping sum of $69.3 million at Christie's auction house. Now, just to describe what this artwork is in its entirety, it is actually a photo collage, and it was the first to be offered by a major auction house. Now, this sale also marked the first time that the auction house, that's Christie's, accepted cryptocurrency as a form of payments. Now, Sulaiman, let's talk about NFTs. Now, NFTs is advancing. It's revolutionizing the way we appreciate, the way we see art, not just art, but music and everything that has to do with aesthetics. Now, can you just talk to us? What are your thoughts on NFTs?
NFTs are revolutionizing the way we see art and how the creative process in terms of art. We find out that we have NFTs in music, in so many forms, in real estate and whatnot. So the NFT space is one that is fascinating. And I want to mention that this is one thing we at Kurobi are able to actually tap into. The flagship feature for the NFT Time Pass, which we've created to allow creatives to actually mint and sell those time passes for their audiences in terms of live concerts, webinars, workshops. So it allows you to be part of an exclusive club in terms of attendance, in terms of ownership and whatnot. So the Kurobi Time Pass is what will allow people to actually attend events on the Kurobi platform. So generally speaking, it's one thing for everybody to be part of this force movement brought about by the NFT, and we've seen a lot of people coming. We've seen a lot of musicians, a lot of corporate people coming in to actually be part of the trend.
But now, Sulaiman, still on NFTs, there seems to be a lot of controversy, if I can use that word, although it might be a bit too high sounding. But now some sectors are of the opinion that now NFTs, when you look at some NFTs, such as CryptoPunks, MeBits, and the rest of them. Now, for example, taking a look at CryptoPunks, it is a 24 by 24 pixel art, which can actually be easily made by a graphics designer. Now, you get to see some of these collectibles or artworks selling for almost $1 million or more. Now, the question is, what significance or what value do people actually attach to this? Because when you actually compare it to the conventional forms of art, the Mona Lisa, Picasso, and the rest of them, now, there was so much energy, so much significance, if I can put it that way, attached to some of these conventional forms of arts. When you now compare it to what we have today as NFTs, what's the value? What do you think is the value that comes from NFTs? Do you think it's sentimental, or is there something else we're missing? Talk to us about that.
No, I think the first thing in the blockchain industry is community. Community is what made everything valuable. Beyond, of course, the art there is one that we are able to actually comprehend, relate with. But the biggest factor there is the community that comes with a lot of this art collections in terms of generative and non-generative arts and collectibles and whatnot. The community is what foster this likeness and, of course, acceptability. Looking at BAYC, MAYC, CryptoPunks, you find out that it's that feeling of being part of that exclusive club of having purchased or obtained that particular NFT. And the same thing goes for all other NFTs in terms of music and whatnot. The same thing goes for the Kurobi Time Pass. It's one that gives you the access of being part of somebody that has attended a particular event or a particular movement. We've seen what the NFT space is doing in reality in terms of meetups, in terms of cleanups, in terms of helping a lot of wildlife conservations and so many things in terms of CSR in making the world a better place.
Okay, fantastic stuff. So let's just pick it up right after this commercial. Stay with us.
Merry Christmas! It's Crypto Santa! Crypto Santa is here to ask you, what do you want for Christmas? Talk to Crypto Santa and your wish will be granted. Merry Christmas to you and yours, and a prosperous new year to all of us.
Hello, my name is Chiki and I'm the Bo of the Bullet.
Keep watching Crypto TV Plus.
Don't touch that die. Peace. This program is brought to you by OKEX, the most trusted digital asset exchange.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is Inside Blockchain, live on Crypto TV Plus. This is the first edition of the Inside Blockchain for the year 2022. And I have a friend, a brother, a colleague, Sulaiman Muhammad Sulaiman. He is the head of partnerships and marketing at Kurobi.io. So now, Sulaiman, let's move on a bit. Now, let's take a look at one very significant thing. If you were to ask me, I would say it was a very huge game changer for the crypto and blockchain space globally. Now, El Salvador becomes the first country to make Bitcoin a legal tender. Now, when this happened, a lot of key players, the IMF, the JP Morgan, some of these big players were a little bit opposed to the significance of El Salvador passing this into law. Now, El Salvador passed a law in September 2021 adopting Bitcoin as legal tender alongside the US dollar. Now, the move was met with doubt among many Salvadorians who were skeptical of Bitcoin's inherent volatility. Key point, volatility. Now, financial experts, they voiced concerns that the cryptocurrency could bring further economic instability to the country, and it could also encourage money laundering. What are your thoughts on this, Sulaiman?
I think it was a great move by the Salvadorian government to actually adopt Bitcoin in terms of what they do. And I want to tell you, a lot of countries will key into this remarkable movement. Looking at it, the cryptocurrency is here to stay. It is the future, and it is trying to revolutionize conventional finance and whatnot. There might be a lot of doubts at the beginning now and how people view these things, but it's something we must embrace and looking at all the fundamentals to what this means for people in Salvador and of course other parts of the world.
So in your opinion, sorry to cut in there, in your opinion, do you think this new year we're likely to see some other countries, towing that same line, adopting crypto as a legal tender and adding it to their financial system? Do you think some things like that will happen?
No, I want to believe so because I've seen a lot of comments on and off social media. So in the next 10 years, we might see the United States of America actually adopting Bitcoin. I'm not sure on how that is going to pan out. But if by speculations, people are already speculating for the world powers to actually key into this, I am going to tell you we are going to see a lot of countries key into this before the United States do that.
Oh, great stuff, great stuff. So let's dive a little bit further into this El Salvador issue. Now, do you think, let's just come down to our home country. Now, in light of the CBN ban and regulations here and there, do you think there's a possibility that Nigeria as a country could add or could adopt crypto as an exchange of value? You know, constitutionally, do you think something like that can happen?
Well, it's tough to say anyway. But we've, if you look at the crypto space moved by a lot of key players in the Nigerian sector, we find out that the conversations have been sparked up. Just recently, we witnessed the largest gathering of cryptocurrency in Africa, hosted by TechNet and sponsored, of course, by Kurobi. These conversations were being made, and in fact, the Federal Minister of National Planning, Dr. Clement Agba, has made some reasonable observations on regulations and legislation to this. And if we've started these conversations, it tells you there's light at the end of the tunnel. And of course, Nigeria might be able to, or might in the foreseeable future, adopt this, and of course, we join the global trend.
Oh, great stuff, great stuff. So now let's move a bit further. Now, we've seen, just like you mentioned, taking a cue from the Minister, Dr. Clement Agba, Crypto TV Plus were opportune to be in attendance in that program. And just like you said, he made some real specific observations that had to do with the regulatory concerns of the CBN, the SEC, and, you know, other key players. Now, from a Bitcoin crash, we saw a Bitcoin crash in November 2021 last year, to regulatory crackdowns. Now, can we say that 2022 will be a big year on the regulatory front? Because the interest from various governments, especially the US, to bring regulation into the crypto space has not slowed down. So when we bring it home, referring back to some of the comments that Dr. Clement Agba made, because there was a very, very significant observation he made. He said there seems to be a level of indecision between which body is going to regulate crypto. What do you think about that? Because it was between the CBN and the SEC. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the ambiguity in terms of who regulates and who doesn't regulate is part of things we need to tackle. But I think the greater factor is, as we are trying to regulate, we need to bring in that fundamental pillar, which is legislation. A proper legislation has to be formed around cryptocurrency itself before we move to forming bodies that regulate, or how we regulate, or how we don't regulate. I think regulation and legislation should be going side by side. And until we're able to do this together, we might not make meaningful steps towards achieving what we decide to do. And regardless of the I don't know, some people call it lethargy by the government, but I don't want to call it or look at it in that manner. I tend to look at it, of course. There are concerns by the establishing bodies, the CBN, SEC, and whatnot. But until we're able to have a proper legislation to this, regulation might be a bit stiff.
Well, the key thing there is, before we talk about legislation or regulation of the crypto sector, the key thing there is to have an in-depth understanding of how this concept actually works. Now, the thing is, blockchain and cryptocurrency, they are disruptive in the way they operate. in the sense that the conventional or traditional financial system that we are used to is entirely different from the blockchain and cryptocurrency industry. Now, the blockchain and cryptocurrency industry offers financial freedom. It offers permissionless transactions. It actually eliminates that presence of a third party. And it's not just limited to the financial gains. The blockchain technology is vast. It's actually bigger than that. Now, the key thing there is for the governments to understand how this technology works so they can actually leverage on it. And when they leverage on it, then issues like legislation and regulation can actually come in. Do you agree with that, Sulaiman?
No, I am a champion of this. If you were in attendance at the TechNext conference, this is what I started my speech with, and it was a quote by Frank Herbert in his Dune novel, which says that the mystery of life is not a problem to solve, but a reality to experience, a process that cannot be understood by stopping it. We must move with the flow of the process. We must join it and we must float with it. This simply means that for whatever we try to do in Nigeria, we must first understand this new phenomenon. How has it come about? What does it stand to bring? And how does it look in the future for the country in terms of both conventional and unconventional finance? So I think I am fully with the fact, the opinion that we must understand this new trend, and of course the Nigerian government and other governments need to first fully learn, understand this new phenomenon before we start the talks about regulations, legislation, who do this, who does that, and all of that.
Yeah, great stuff. So just before we wrap it up, Sulaiman, let's talk a bit about the Metaverse. So now, sometime last year, Facebook actually announced that it would be changing its name. The parent company would be rebranding to Meta. Now, Meta will oversee the operations of both Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Now, this sparked a lot of worldwide debate as to some of the concerns why Facebook would change this name, because prior to the name change, there was a whistleblower allegation that Facebook sells privacy, sells data and all that. So that's by the side though. So let's talk about the Metaverse. Now, sometime in December last year, Elon Musk voiced his concerns on the issue of Metaverse. He says he actually looks at it as just a buzzword and a marketing tactics. Now, he's of the opinion that people would not so much want to be caught up in the virtual reality world, because that's what the Metaverse, the design is entirely, the virtual reality. So he's of the opinion that people would not so much want to be caught up in the virtual world that they would lose sense of reality. What are your thoughts on Metaverse, Sulaiman?
It's an interesting debate and a very ambiguous one. It depends on how you look at it. The Metaverse is, of course, the future. So it depends on where the argument is coming from. And I think the biggest or the most form of concern for a lot of people is that Mark Zuckerberg is actually pioneering or moving a step ahead of a lot of people that have been in this space to actually do this. I think their concerns are, I would say, is mostly a personal basis, not looking at what we stand to gain from Metaverse. And Web3, so to say, is one thing that goes away from what Web2 stands for. And of course, it's not for creatives. Web3 is for creatives, and the Metaverse is for creatives. And whether we like it or not, the Metaverse is something we would actually adopt in the nearest future. I think the debate is an interesting one, and if we take away sentiments and personal aggrandizements from these things, we would actually holistically look at these things and see that it's something we need to actually embrace and go with the flow.
So taking a cue from what you said we're yet to realize some of the gains of the Metaverse. So in your own words, what would you define to be the gain that we can get from the Metaverse? What do you think are the benefits?
I mean, we're trying to shatter borders. If we're trying to shatter borders and become a borderless entity in the world, I think the metaverse actually portrays that for us to go beyond borders, do things beyond borders, actually in terms of commerce, in terms of businesses, in terms of education, and of course in terms of even entertainment. So there are so many gains to actually be realized from what metaverse is for us as a people.
Now let us break it down. I don't know if you've seen the movie. There's this movie directed by Steven Spielberg, Ready Player One. Now that movie was actually more like a revelation or a peek into what the metaverse could look like. Now, breaking it down or bringing it down to the barest minimum. Now the metaverse is a virtual world, and we understand that the sole purpose of everything is to enhance connectivity and make life easier. Now, would you subscribe to the idea that you would rather spend quality time in the metaverse where everything is easy, you have access, you can be in the comfort of your home, and you have a face-to-face interface with someone in, let's say, Berlin? You can actually be here in Nigeria and your virtual presence can be felt, let's say, somewhere in Germany or any other place. Now, would you subscribe to that, living like that, in contrast to the reality?
I think I will subscribe to that. Sometime last year, Justin Bieber hosted a concert in the metaverse, and you need to actually have that experience and see what it meant to actually be in the metaverse, to actually see Justin Bieber perform. So,
were you in the concert?
I had to see a recap and had that feeling of what people felt. And believe me, it is an amazing feeling to actually just see that people are able to actually experience this. This ultra personalized experiences are what has not been done in the world, and they are a shift or paradigm shift from what we are used to. I think there's just a bit of that. Of course, it's human nature to actually be a bit resistant to new technologies and, of course, new innovations. But I believe the metaverse is one that allows us to actually be fully borderless and shatter those borders we're trying to eliminate.
Great stuff, fantastic stuff. So I think if we continue to talk about some of the events that happened in 2021, it will be quite inexhaustive because a lot of things happened. We've mentioned a few. We've mentioned Dr. Okonjo Iweala emerging as the Director General of the World Trade Organization. We've spoken about El Salvador legalizing, making Bitcoin a legal tender. We've spoken about the metaverse. We've also touched on the NFT that was sold for $69.3 million. And we've also talked about crypto regulatory concerns. We also saw last year the first Bitcoin ETF futures that was launched, in addition to some other significant things that actually happened. And all in all, we look forward to this new year. We look forward to a lot of things, a lot of revolutions, a lot of significant technological advancements in the areas of the metaverse, even in DeFi. We're looking at DeFi, the DeFi sector also coming back with full force. Now, Sulaiman, what do you think? What are your projections for this new year?
I think this year is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be one that will take us into a lot of this future we've been talking about. It's the future actually coming way beyond its time, and 2022 will be really, really remarkable. That we would people will have thought of joining this industry, this space, earlier than they ought to have joined. And I see a lot of amazing platforms and applications in terms of DeFi. Other protocols doing fantastic stuff, and I must say 2022 is going to be the year we see that massive adoption into this industry.
Fantastic, well said. So that is Sulaiman Muhammad Sulaiman. He is the head of partnerships and marketing at Kurobi.io. So Sulaiman, quickly, can you just put out your social media handles for people to, look you up and, just check out some of the solutions you provide?
Yeah, of course. On Twitter, it's Kurobi_.io, the same thing on Instagram and on Medium. And of course, our website is Kurobi.io. Can actually reach us via any of this medium and join our Discord, our Telegram to have insights on what we are building and what we've actually built. And of course, we are launching this year, so we are starting 2022 with a bang.
Is there a specific timeline or when Kurobi will be launched? Or is it?
I think I will reserve that alpha for myself.
Okay.
But it's coming in Q1 2022, so of course.
Okay, I was thinking you would give us something for the breaking news, to start off the year with.
Some people say alpha news is insider trading, so I will keep the alpha to ourselves.
Okay. Well, we look forward to Kurobi launching anytime soon. The date is yet to be announced. Sulaiman Muhammad Sulaiman, like I mentioned, the head of partnerships and marketing at Kurobi.io. Thank you so much for joining us on the first edition of the Inside Blockchain Show. Thank you so much, Sulaiman.
Thank you very much, Bobby. It's been a pleasure being here. Thank you very much.
All right, that's fantastic. And that will be all on today's program. Check out our website, cryptotvplus.com, to get more market updates and trends captured within the world of blockchain and cryptocurrency. Follow us on our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at CryptoTVPlus to get daily info on our programs. Today's edition of the Inside Blockchain Show is brought to you by OKX. OKX is the leading innovative crypto exchange that offers advanced financial services. Thank you so much for staying with us. I am Bobby Edike. See you next week.
This program is brought to you by OKX, the most trusted digital asset exchange.